Okay, in this segment I'm going to show you how to create a pattern for our bear. The pattern for this for this bear I'll be making, his name is Henry, and he comes out of the Australian Bear Creations magazine. Anyway, what I'm going to be doing is copying the parts for Henry on this plastic template. You can get these sheets at any craft store or quilting store. They're used obviously for templates for quilting or patterns. And what I'll do is I will try to fit as many pieces on this template as I possibly can, and I'll be using a fine tip Sharpie to copy all of the pattern pieces. So I'm going to start with the body, which is the largest piece. My drawing isn't very straight, but you get the idea of where the lines are going to be. And you just put a few dots around here just for your seam allowance. Obviously I don't copy all of them. And basically you're going to have a 1/4 inch seam allowance. Now this we're going to leave open, and I try to copy everything onto here so I know what portion of Henry I'm copying. Also on this particular pattern you'll see that it gives you a couple of ideas for the nose and the mouth for Henry. Here's the leg joint, and as stated in an earlier section, that you're going to have a nap on the fur, so you want to make sure that you cut all of your pieces going in the right direction. So this is Henry, and this is the body, and we're going to cut two. This is the leg and the arm joint. And again, we're going to leave this section open because when we're finished cutting or sewing Henry up, we're going to turn him right side out through this section. Now I'm going to draw out Henry's foot. I'm using a finer marker. This is the foot pad, and what you can do, you can either use the fur or you can use some of the lining of the fur, the satin, or you can use an ultra suede to cut the pad for his foot and his paws. And I always put Henry's name on the pattern because as I collect patterns, I always want to know that this is Henry. Foot pad, and we're going to cut 2. Okay, you see that I have 2 pieces already traced onto the plastic template. Now I'm going to fit in the head gusset. I try to squeeze as many pieces as I can onto this template. Again, I am drawing the 1/4 inch seam allowance, but with Henry, as with all of my bears, they all have a 1/4 inch seam allowance all the way around. Again, this is the head gusset, and I'm making the direction that the fabric is going to go in. This is the front of the top part of his nose, and this is the back of the head. So you're going to want the fur going from the front to the back, the nap. After you have finished tracing out all of your pattern pieces onto your template material, the next step is to cut out these individual pieces. The scissors I use are very sharp. I also use them to cut out the fur, as you'll see later. So I'm going to just start cutting out these pattern pieces. And you'll cut on the solid line that was drawn. Okay, what I'm going to do after I've cut all these pieces out, as you can see, they're all here, I like to put them in a Ziploc bag. And this way none of the pieces get lost. And later on, as I work on the bear, I will be taking pictures of it and also put it in the Ziploc bag for future reference. So this one is Henry, and we'll always have Henry's pattern for future use.